Hey fam, how you doing? Um, I'm actually in bed now. It is 10 minutes to 9. But this was put upon my heart to share this with you today. And normally I wouldn't. Normally I would put up one, maybe two videos, and then I would call it a day. But today I decided that I was going to share something that um, I normally don't talk about, even though I've written a book about it. I decided that I was going to share with you exactly what happened to me when I was 6 years old and when I was 13. The reason why I'm sharing this with you right now is because I don't expect every single one of you to go out and buy groomed. It's okay. But I don't think we as men deal with any trauma that we've suffered at the hands of an abuser. Most of us just don't know how. Most of us just stay silent. We just don't talk about it, especially if you're heterosexual. See, with gay men, it's normal for us to be with another guy. No big deal. And we probably wear it as a badge of honor if we get an adult because we'll say, hey, this guy was in his 30s. I'm only 15. He wanted this, so I got that. No, that guy used you. Okay, you're just too young to understand that he used you. For straight men, it is not natural for you to sleep with another guy. So therefore, you may feel a sense of hostility or anger or someone took away something from you that was so valuable. Not that it's not with gay men, but with heterosexual men, it's different. So what they do is they bottle stuff up and they just don't talk about it. So I'm getting ready to share with you, even though I'm not a heterosexual man, I'm going to share with you exactly what happened to me when I was 6. My father brought me over to my grandmother's house. I was about 6 or 7. My mother was in the hospital giving birth to my younger brother, who was approximately 6 years my junior. I don't know where he was during that time period. I don't know if he was out clubbing. I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is that he dropped me off at my grandmother's house. And at my grandmother's house, the two youngest siblings still lived there. My aunt and my father's youngest brother. Now, being that I was a boy, it was only appropriate that I sleep with my uncle. And so I did. And at about 3 o'clock in the morning, I remember him waking me up. And I remember this. I remember the time because they had back then in the 60s, they had an analog clock that sat on the headstand, the headboard, of his bed. And I remember looking at that, and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. And the analog clock had an orange face on it. And I remember him pulling me on top of him, and he kissed me. And being that it was my uncle and it was affectionate, he wasn't violating me in any way, shape, or form, I thought, okay. And he asked me, do you love me? And I said, of course. And he said, good. And then he just started gyrating underneath me, I guess until he exploded. But ever since then, I had been consumed. Hear me when I say consumed with sex. And I acted out with other boys. But back in the 60s, nobody knew how to address an LGBTQ child. So my mother caught me acting out with another neighborhood boy. She told the boy to get out, which he never came back. And then she took me in the bathroom and she whipped me with an extension cord. That was my clear signal of knowing that that was unacceptable behavior, even though I knew that I was supposed to do it behind closed doors and in the dark and in secret. Kids are very, very intuitive. They know the signals. Okay? So understand that. Now let's fast forward to when I was 13. When I was 13, I knew that my father had no interest in raising me. And I took that really hard because I was his firstborn. How could you not love your firstborn? And it's not that he didn't love me. My mother told me that. She said that he just didn't want to take care of me. Well, the fuck's the difference? Please excuse me for my language, but this is my emotions coming out right now, so I may drop an F bomb or two. So please, just bear with me. So I sought out a father figure or parental figure, and there was a guy that volunteered at our church, contributed very heavily, and he used to take the eighth grade boys and the altar boys because it was a Catholic school, and I was an altar boy. And he would be our ride, so we had wood shop, and he would make sure that we all got home safely. He would take us out to the movies on Saturday nights. He would take us out to dinner, and I remember him taking me to an Italian restaurant called Pagano's, which I had no idea what to order, so I just ordered what every kid wanted: spaghetti and meatballs. But this guy, I didn't realize he was systematically going through all of the boys in my eighth grade and seventh grade class. I knew that there was one boy that he fancied that was my best friend that was before me, and I know the boy he dealt with after me. Later, my mother took me out of the school, and she put me in this public school where my homeroom teacher molested me, kept calling me into class during recess, made sure that I sat right next to him in assembly, tried to hold my hand, and of course this man was elderly. I did not want anything to do with him at all. And then finally, he just got to the point where he was upfront, asked me if I talked. I said, of course I talk. He said, no, I'm talking about, do you talk? And I knew what he meant, and I didn't answer him. And later it wound up with us going into a teacher's lounge and locking the door. And I just said, you know what, let him do it. Because if he was attractive, if he was your type, you would let him do it without a problem. The last guy was, I met him ironically through a girl I liked. She decided that after being with me for a little while that she could get a grown man. Why would she need a boy? So she introduced me to him. And he took a fancy to me. Why? Because she was 15. He was in his 20s. I was 13. So I was younger. And that progressed into him becoming like a big brother figure, which I welcomed because I didn't have an older brother. And he kept me out all night, one night after a school trip. Told me he called a cab. Go upstairs in the room, lay down for a little while. At 3 o'clock in the morning, that seems to be the magic number. He raped me. And in the morning, when I woke up, I was petrified. I'm sharing all of this with you just so that you know that pedophiles work in a way. They know their victims. They look for ways to coerce their victims and to make that child feel as if they were a willing participant, if not the initiator of the event. So, as bad as this content was, if you liked it, if you found it informative, please like, share, and comment. I do welcome your comments and will answer any questions that you may have. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for allowing me to share. And thank you for giving me 9 minutes of your time.